back, just keep your eyes on me. I said you're holding back. She said shut up and dance with me. This woman is my destiny. She said ooh, shut up your eyes on me. I said you're holding back. She said shut up and dance with me. This woman is my destiny. She said physical kryptonite. Let's do the face and fade. We were bound to get together, bound to get together. She took my arm, we took the floor, and she said, oh, together, just keep your eyes on me. I said, you're holding back. She said, shut up and dance with me. This woman is my destiny. She said, ooh, shut up and dance with me. About this dress and some beat up sleeves. My discotheque, Juliet, teenage dream. In my chest, and she looked at me. I knew we were bound to be together, bound to be together. She took my arm, we took the floor, and she said, oh, don't you dare look back, just keep your eyes on me. I said, you're holding back. She said, shut up and dance with me. This woman is my destiny. She said, shut up and dance with me. Deep in her eyes, I think I see a future. I realize this is my last chance. She took my arm, we took the floor, and she said, oh, don't you dare look back, just keep your eyes on me. I said, you're holding back. She said, shut up and dance with me. This woman is my destiny. She said, ooh, shut up and dance. Don't you dare look back, just keep your eyes on me. I said, you're holding back. She said, shut up and dance with me. This woman is my destiny. She said, shut up and dance with me. Shut up and dance with me. Shut up and dance with me. It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here. You can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space with the air like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy I'm alone if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy I'm alone if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy I'm alone if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy I'm alone if you feel like that's what you want to do. Come bad news, talking this and that. Give me all you got, don't hold it back. Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. No offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why. Because I'm happy I'm alone if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy I'm alone if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy I'm alone if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy I'm alone if you feel like that's what you want to do. Bring me down.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. Today is the last day and day 3 of Let's Dive into the Metaverse. So, we will be starting with Karan, who will continue on the project we were working on yesterday and introduce a few more gaming elements within the project. Then we will hear from the rest of the Project AR team and their thoughts about where this technology is headed and their plans for their own company. And then later we will be joined by Gautam, who is an XR project manager at Talkout, and he will talk about how, as a non technical person, you can still be a part of this space. So I will bring Karan on screen now. Hello, Karan.
Hey Vidhi, how are you?
Good. So you are live now, and I will also
Yeah,
add your screen. So, yeah, stage is yours.
okay. So, hello everyone, how are you guys doing? So, yesterday we have, added various elements and we have, done some experiment with the AR functionalities, with the AR experience. So, let me give you a brief like what we have done yesterday. So in the yesterday we have created the session for AR. Basically, at the start we implement like integrated all the packages that we required. So basically we went to the package manager and we installed all the AR related packages. So basically there are not that much packages. We just need to install AR Foundation and AR XR Core. AR Core plugin is for Android and ARKit is for to make the app on for the iOS. So basically we are focusing on Android, so that's why we only imported the AR Core XR plugin. After that we created the AR session, and then we set up the AR camera. We implemented some script for object to plane, because plane detection script, object placement script. So we have implemented various scripts, not much, just 3 scripts. One is for the object placement. These are some scripts that are already we get with the SDK. So you can easily check it inside the SDK. We have this AR plane manager, AR raycast manager. All the things are we have from the SDK. We just created this script and 2 more script that we have created, which are enemy related to the enemy movement, and one is lookat. So basically lookat script is taking care of the view of the enemy. When the enemy instantiate in the real world, it basically look in a random direction. So we are changing that look, and enemy will start looking at yourself, you mean like towards the camera, application camera. So this is what lookat script is doing. Other than that, we want enemy is kind of zombie here. The character might not look exactly like zombie, but it is zombie in our case. We can change the character with any other character. Okay, so that's not an issue. So there is a script called enemy movement, which is taking care of the movement. So when the enemy instantiate, it is moving towards the player, which is us. So it is moving towards us, and when it reaches us, the distance will be less than 0.5 meters. It will kill you and the game will get over. So something like that. We haven't done anything for the game over. We have only done the moving part. So you can see how the enemy is moving. Like currently this is the animation of the enemy. When you take the camera like to some distance, it starts moving towards the camera. So this is what the basic stuff we have done. Now in the today's session what we will going to do is we will be adding a gun, basically towards the camera. So the gun will kind of the first person gun, and you can shoot with the gun towards the enemy. So we will be adding the gun, the shooting script. Other than that, what we will be doing is we will be adding some UI element, basic UI element, in which you will be having a button by which you can shoot the enemy, and we will be adding a health bar for the enemy, so that shooting the enemy will decrease the health, so that the chances of your winning is also there. So let's start. What thing we can do right now? So I want you guys to just the guys who have joined with me like yesterday, you can follow me. I mean we can do the things together, so that you can also build the app. Now what we will be doing is let's insert the pistol, basically. So yesterday the link that I have shared with you guys, please Vidhi add it to the comment section so that everyone can get access to it. We will be having the gun data. So what we will be doing is go to the asset option, select import package and go to custom package. Now what we will be doing here is we will be finding the package. So I have the AR data file. We are where I will be having the zombie.unity package and gun.unity package. So zombie we have implemented yesterday, so you don't need to import that. Just import the gun. We'll open it and it is having a lot of stuff. Just you don't need to do anything. Just click on import and you will get the gun. Now just like we used the enemy yesterday, we put the gun part towards the project hierarchy. So let's see where it is. Easy weapon, you can go to extra pistol model and here is the pistol model. Just drag and drop into the scene. You can see that we are having a pistol now with us. Okay, this is the pistol. You can see the pistol. Okay, now what we will be doing is we will be making a pistol. Basically pistol is nothing, it's just an object which will be moving according to the camera. Like the phone has the camera. When you are moving the phone here and there, the pistol will automatically get moved according to the phone. So you just don't need to apply anything related to the movement on the pistol. What we will be doing is we will just add pistol like in the child part of the camera. So let's make pistol as a child of the camera. Now with the movement of the camera, when the camera will rotate, the pistol will automatically rotate. This is basically the parent child relationship. Yeah, so basically it is a parent child relationship. So when you rotate the parent, the child will automatically get rotate. So we don't need to take care of the rotation and the position of the pistol. So basically we will create it as the pistol as the child of the camera. So this part is also complete. We have now the pistol with us in the scene. Now what we need to do is we need to set the transform of the pistol in such a way that it looks like that it is in our hand. So I'll be giving you the transform, exactly what exact transform we will be using. I have recorded the transform of it, so I'll just tell you the transform directly. Set the x value to 0.025. You will see the transform of the pistol, how it gets changed. Minus 0.067. Let me make it a big 0.067, 0.127. This is the approximate values. You can change the points value as well. And as the pistol is so big, so we are making it 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. Now you can see that it is looking like it is it is the part of the screen, and it is just like the FPS camera that we are holding the pistol. It is looking something like that. So now this is all the setting of the pistol that we have done. Now what we will be doing is we will be taking care of the bullets. Like now we will start coding for the bullets. Now for each weapon, when you can see that all the bullet spawns basically at the position at the knob of the pistol, at the front part. So we will be setting that now. So let's have a spawn point. Let's right click on the pistol. Okay, now we will be adding empty game object, because we don't want any game object, any specific geometry, just an empty game object. Let's name it as spawn point. Okay, and we will be setting the transform of the spawn point. So it should be like, just go closer to the, currently my scroll wheel is not working, so I need to do bit something like this. Is a position where we spawn the bullet. Basically, if you can see, this is like this is like the center part of the gun at the the topmost part. So let me copy this part again, because so that so as to get the approximate values. So you can copy the values. I'll be letting you know the values of the bullets. So it is 0.117 and 0.73. So it is exactly at this place. Now we know from which point we will be spawning the bullets. because whenever you want to instantiate the bullet, you must know anything. Whenever you do the instantiation, like yesterday we have discussed about the instantiation part. When while instantiating something, it take basically 3 parameters: the object that you want to instantiate, what things you want to provide, including the position and the rotation. So these 3 things are the basic stuff you need to provide: the position, the object, and the rotation. So here we don't care about the rotation. Let's move towards the object and design a bullet prefab. So what we'll be doing, we are clicking here to just create a 3D object. Just right click on the spawn point, go to a 3D object, and for now we are taking bullet as spheres. So click on the sphere. Okay, now we need to just change the scale of the bullet so that it can match the, I don't know what we say, that the front part of the gun, so that it can match that part. So what we will be doing is we created a 3D sphere, and we will be setting the value as let's say 0.015, 0.0115, 0.015. So now it will be like a little sphere that will instantiate from here. So let's see, let's make it a bit bigger so that we can see. So 0.02, 0.02, 0.02. Now let's see how it looks. So we don't want the bullet right now here. So what we will be doing is we will be creating the prefab of it. So how we create the prefab, basically it has all the elements. It has something called mesh renderer, which is responsible for the rendering part. If you go closer, give me a moment. Let me tell you what this part is doing. Let me change the scale so that you can see the bullet. Yeah, so this is the bullet, and the mesh renderer part is responsible for the rendering of this sphere. So when you disable it, the render will not be there, only collider will be there. So this is the mesh renderer, and this is the sphere collider, and this is basically mesh filter, which is responsible to show the which geometry you will be seeing. If I change the sphere geometry to cylinder, like this window gets open. If you change it to cylinder, you will get the cylinder, but now we need only sphere. Let's change it to 0.02, 0.02, 0.02. Now what we will be doing is, it is so short, I guess. Okay, 0.005, 0.05, 0.05. Now it is good. So what we'll be doing is let's name it as bullet, and just drag and drop to the project part so that we will get the prefab of the bullet, because we don't want bullet straight away in the project. We only want it when we click the shoot button, then only we need it. Okay, so just delete the bullet from here, save the scene, and now what we will be doing is we will be creating a shoot manager script for taking care of the bullet for the shoot thing. So what we'll be doing is we will go to the script part, just right click here, go to create, go to C# script, and just name it as shoot. Let's just name it as shoot. Yeah, now double click on it, it will open the studio. Just wait. Yes, so now we will be creating the shooting script. So before that, just remove the unnecessary libraries that we get by default, because currently we don't need them. So yeah, this is the thing. Now we'll be like creating the shoot manager. So what we need here, just if you think about it, what we need is first of all, only we need is a bullet prefab. So game object bullet prefab is what we required. Now we want it to be available in the inspector so that we can drag and drop the bullet prefab, because we want the connection between the unity stuffs like the 3D models and the script object. So what we will be doing is serialize field. Now this will let this object, this variable available in the inspector. So if you save the script, and if you apply the shoot manager to any of the object, we can see the object. So basically we will not be adding this script anywhere in the scene. We will create another empty game object, we will name it as shoot manager. Okay, so just to get rid of the the complications, we create managers for different related stuffs. So this is basically the script which is taking care of the shooting part. So we will create a different game object for that, and we are adding the script. Now here you can see that we are having a bullet prefab. Okay, so just add the bullet from the prefab part, add the bullet, and go to the script again, and now we will start. Other than bullet, what we will be requiring, other than bullet, we will be shooting, and we want the spawn point of the currently we need the spawn point as well. So again, to get the position from where we will be instantiating, we need the spawn point. So now we have two game objects, bullet prefab and spawn point. Other than this, currently we don't need anything, so let's go with this. Now what we will be doing is we will be shooting the bullets. Okay, so for shooting the bullet, we need a button in the scene. We will be making the button, but we will also need a method that we will be applying to that button. So let's create public void shooting. Okay, so just name it anything, shooting or shoot, we can give any name to it, or let's give it a different name, on shoot button press. It is good name. We can get the behavior of the method with this name. So just name it, just create a method, and now what we will be doing is we will be instantiating the bullet prefab first of all. So let's create a dummy game object to store the bullet. Game object go is equals to instantiate. Now in the instantiate, we basically require three parameters. The first parameter is the prefab itself. So let's write down the name of the prefab. So bullet prefab, add the name of bullet prefab, comma. Now we need to give the parent as well. It is a different parameter, but we will not go with the parent one, we will go with this one. We will be giving the position and the rotation. Okay, so for the position, we have the position, I guess, spawn point. So just write spawn point dot position. Spawn point is game object. Okay, so let's convert it to transform, because we only care about the transform. We don't want to get its component. So basically we only want the transform. So let's replace it with transform to get the position directly. So we got the position, spawn point dot position, and we got spawn point dot rotation. So now we have the bullet instantiated in the scene. Okay, now whenever you call this method, we will be having a bullet. Now what we need to do is we need to apply some kind of force so that the bullet get get fired towards the forward direction. So what is required? So basically we need to apply some kind of physics to the bullet. So let's go to prefab. Yeah, let's go to the bullet prefab. This is the bullet prefab, and what we will be doing is we will be adding rigid body component here. Now in the rigid body we won't be doing anything. Let's let the mass be 1, let the gravity be enabled, because we will be firing the bullet with so much speed that even if the gravity work, it won't affect anything. So let setting be just like the default. We won't be changing it. We will do some experiment later on, but not now. So let it be at the default. So just add the component. You just need to go to add component, just type rigid body. We won't be using rigid body 2D, the symbol rigid body, as the object is 3D. So that's fine. Now we will go to the method again. Now what we need to do is, now this object which is instantiated has the component as rigid body. So what we will be doing is just get the component, go dot get component rigid body dot. Now rigid body has various methods and properties. Now what we need to do is we need to apply some kind of force in the forward direction from the bullet. So what we will be doing is dot add force is a method that is there in the rigid body, which usually takes two parameters, vector 3 force, and basically the vector 3 force is the direction in which you want to apply the force, adds a force to the rigid body. And this is the force mode. It has basically different types of force mode. One is the velocity change, one is the acceleration, one is the impulsive force. You can add various type of force, but to fire the bullet we will be going with the impulsive one. You can experiment it with adding different type of force modes. So what we will be doing is, we will be adding spawn point dot transform dot forward. Okay, and what we will be doing is force mode dot, you have four types of force modes: acceleration, force, impulsive, velocity change. We will be going with the impulsive one. Now what we have done is, we have instantiated the bullet and we have added the force in the forward direction, and this method is created. Now what we need to do is, we need to apply this method somewhere in the UI so that we can call it. Okay, so for that we will be adding a UI element in the scene. So you don't need to do anything tough. Just right click here in the hierarchy, go to the UI part and just add the canvas. Now you have the canvas. What we will be doing is, we will be changing the canvas scalar property, just to make it according to the screen. So we will be doing it scale with screen size and just 1920 1080, or you can give the resolution basic. These are the basic resolution that I usually prefer. So we have added the canvas in the scene. We just change the canvas property, and now we will be needing a button. So just what I'll be doing is just right clicking, again going to UI, and I'll be adding a button. Okay, so by default you get the button at the center. What we need to do is, we don't want it to be at the center, we just want it to be at the left, bottom left. So we have the rect transform for it. You can set it. Now what rect transform will help you in, it will give you responsive UI kind of thing. When you use rect transform, you can set the things in spite of the screen size or anything. So if I click here, just click on it, just click shift and alt and click this one, bottom left. This is the bottom left. Now let's increase the size of the button, 200 by 200 or 300 by 300, or for now let's make it like 400 by 400. Okay, give some offset like 50 or like 80 is good, I think. Yeah, 80. So now any screen size, you can change the screen size from here, or you can add some new aspect ratio using this. So if I go with 21:9, you can see the position, it is at the bottom. Even if it's landscape, even if it's portrait, 16:9 portrait, 18:9 portrait, it will be at that position only. Okay, so this is what rect transform help in. So we have to set the rect transform. For the shift and alt thing, shift sets the pivot, alt set the position. So we want to set the pivot at the bottom as well, and also the position. Okay, so that's why we push shift and alt. So just do this part, then we will move forward. So if you have added the button, what we will be doing is, inside the button we have a text option. So just change the text to like shoot, and just go to the text properties, make it bold, and let's change the horizontal overflow to overflow, and this also both, let's make it overflow. Click the center part and increase the font size so that it can be visible. So it's shoot, let's make it 100. So now the shoot is visible. Now what we have done, we have created the shoot manager script, we have added shoot manager script. Okay, we haven't provided the spawn point. So bullet we already have provided from the project, so this is the prefab that we want to instantiate, and spawn point. So let's add spawn point as well. So just click on the shoot manager and drag and drop the spawn point. So now we have the spawn point as well, we have the bullet, and we have everything set up, I guess. Yeah, we have the button, but we forgot something, that we need to wire the button with the method. So what we will be doing is, here is the button and here is the property of on click, on click event it is. So what we will be doing on click, just click on the plus button. It is asking you for the object you want to provide. So just place the object shoot manager where we'll have we have assigned the script, added the script. Just go here, shoot, and on shoot button pressed. Okay, save it. Let me cross check the script. So we have added force, forward, everything is done. Okay, now let's test whether we are shooting anything or not. Play button and just add this. You can see that the you can you can see two things. The size of the bullet is big, and the bullet, the force is getting applied, but it's not that much, just so that you can give a feel of bullet. So what we will be doing is, first of all, let's decrease the prefab size to 0.01, 0.01. Let's say 0.015, 0.015, and 0.015. Save it. Another thing that we are facing issue with is the force. So let's add some component with the forward. So currently it is just a unit, it don't have any magnitude, it's just the direction forward. If you can see it, it has one magnitude. So let's add some magnitude. So multiplied by 30. Let's see now what happens. Again, play the project and shoot. Now it is kind of bit good, but we can see that the projectile motion in the forward, right? So we have two options. What we can do is, let's experiment. Go to the rigid body of the bullet, disable the gravity, and let's see if it's going forward. Now it is going in the forward direction. We can see it as a, it is a bullet. Now you can see here the bullet objects are getting instantiated. Shoot. If I do various shoots, we get a lot of objects. So what is it basically, adding objects to the memory. So we want to get rid of this stuff. We don't want the bullet to be there. This bullet is somewhere in the scene, somewhere it is moving forward with some force. We don't want this bullet to be in the hierarchy. What we can do is, within some specific second, we can destroy the bullet. This is what we can do, right? Within some second, what we can do, we can destroy the bullet. So let's create another script. Go here, create a C# script, name it as bullet, enter, and we will open the bullet script. Now what we will be doing inside bullet script is, we just need to write a simple code that in 3 seconds or in 2 seconds just destroy the object, so that we don't have a lot of objects inside our inspector. So what we will be doing is, we just simply add, we have the object. So what we will be doing, at the start when the bullet get instantiated, what we will be doing is, we will call a method. Let's write the method void destroy, and inside this method we will be writing the line which will destroy this object. So what we will be doing is, we will just do simply destroy. This is the method, and what it is saying, destroy bullet, and this is the destroy method. It takes object, it takes two parameters. One is the object and one is the float time, in what time the bullet will get destroyed. So what we will be doing is, we will be adding the object as this. Why we wrote this? Because we will be adding this script to the bullet itself. So we just want to destroy the same object on which the script is present. So this, and destroyed in 3 seconds. Just do me this favor, and here we will be calling it. But what we need to do, we want to call it in 3 seconds. So we have some method in Unity called invoke. We can directly give this, we can directly pass the string of the method. So just pass the string method name and pass the time. So what we need to do, what we can do is just remove the 3 seconds from here, add the 3 seconds here. So what it will do, when the bullet get instantiated, this method get called in 3 seconds. So in 3 seconds bullet should get destroyed. Let's check the script, and where we will be placing the script, on the bullet prefab. So go to the prefab, bullet prefab, here we want to place the script here. Now where the script is, under the script section, place bullet. So now we have the bullet script. Let's check whether it is working according to the expectation or not. So here is the scene, shoot, 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 shoot. You can see if it's getting deleted. No, it's not getting deleted. Then we should check what wrong we have done. Invoke. Okay, I know what wrong we have done. So just not only write this, we need to destroy the game objects. It is representing the class, so we need to write this dot game object. Now it might do the needful. So let's see, play, and we will be shooting 1 2 3 4 5. You can see the bullets automatically get destroyed. So if you are shooting, the bullets get automatically destroyed in 3 seconds. You can decrease the time, increase the time, something like that. Now you have the feel of, you know, shooting the bullet and things get destroyed and everything will memory get cleared. So yeah, we can add the animation to the gun as well, but that's a further part. Let's not go with the animation. Now what we will be doing is let's do something like, should we create the health bar, or what should we do, or should we experiment? Let's do some experiment with the force modes. I think project, let's check the force modes, shoot, and let's see force mode dot force, and let's see what happens. So with all the force modes, you can see various aspects. If you shoot, it is in constant force in the direction. It is not at all impulsive, something like this. Now again, you can use that by using, you know, increasing the value. If you make it like 500, it will do the same. So just let's go with impulsive. Let me know if everyone are following in the comment section, so that I can move forward. I can proceed. So now what we will be doing next is, we have added the shooting option. Now we want the enemy to, you know, get affected by the shooting. So we will be adding some kind of script to the enemy, so that we can get, you know, when the bullet hit the enemy, we get some kind of debug for now. After that we will add the functionality, but now we will be having some kind of debug. So let's create something like, let's go to the bullet script again, and let's check. So first of all, what we need to do is, when the bullet collides with the enemy, we want to know whether the bullets get collided or not. So for that, here under the tag section here, let's add a tag, name it enemy, save it, and one tag is for the enemy and one tag is for the bullet, so that we can, you know, get the collision details. So one is the enemy, one is the bullet. I'll let you know how we will be using it. So we have two tags with us. So let's put the tag to the corresponding objects. To the boss, we will be adding the tag as enemy, and to the bullet we will be adding the tag as bullet. Okay, now we need to check whether, you know, whether anything is happened. So first what we will do is, this for the sake of testing, we will have the enemy inside the game. Where's the boss is? We will move the boss, yeah, some kind of this place towards the direction of the bullet. We shooting him, but nothing is taking care, because all the bullets will getting pass over the enemy. It is getting pass from the enemy. So we will check whether the boss has the, so currently boss has no collider on it. So if it has no collider, then nothing will, everything will be passing through it. So let's add collider to the boss and set it. So we will be adding capsule collider for now. We can add various colliders like sphere collider, we can add sphere collider, box collider, mesh collider, but for now the appropriate collider is capsule collider. We can set the capsule collider's radius and height and everything. So here is the capsule collider, you can see it here. If I remove the gizmo, you can see it clearly. So just increase the height, decrease the radius, and increase the height, something like this. So you have various components. So the person who might not be able to see the collider, this is the button, edit collider button. When you click on it, you are able to see the collider. Just change the center, take it a bit towards the center, change the radius, decrease the radius according to the dimensions of the character, and add the height. So we have added the capsule collider to the boss. Now we will take the bullet into consideration as well. Bullet has the sphere collider, bullet has the rigid body. Now for the collision to get happen, either from the two objects, either one of the object have this property, rigid body, and one should have is trigger on. This is the only condition in which we can see the collisions basically. If you have both have the collision but both triggers are disabled, if you enable the trigger of both, then also the collision won't take place. And if you remove the trigger rigid body from both, nothing will get taken. So at least on one object we want the rigid body, so we have the rigid body on the bullet. If I move down, you can see the rigid body we have, and if you can see we have also enabled the trigger. So let's disable the trigger of the boss for now. Just do the same thing at your side as well. Rigid body and trigger should be enabled. So this is the basic condition you should have to detect the collision. So what we have done is we have added, already we have added the rigid body to it, and already we have done the is trigger to enable. We have enabled this trigger. So now the collision might takes place. So let's see. What we need to do now is just as yesterday I mentioned, if you are changing anything in the prefab, like currently we have added change the is trigger option of the bullet. Let's see whether it is reflected in the prefab. So when you go to the prefab, it is not getting reflected. So what we need to do is just go to the bullet in the inspector, just go to the bullet and click on the override and apply. Click on the override and apply. So both the things get reflected and saved under the prefab section. So just remove it and let us see whether the collision is taking place. So we will be taking boss again, like somewhere here, y-axis down, shoot. But now even if the collision is taking place, like we don't know because we haven't added any debug kind of thing. So let's add the debug as well. So what we will be doing is let's have the debug in the bullet script, because we have already created the bullet, so we can do that. So let's go to the bullet script, go to the script bullet section, it is open. Now we have a method which is basically a method for detecting the triggers. It is for the on trigger enter. So whenever two collision takes place, and you want to get the information about it, we use the method on trigger enter. When you write on trigger, it will automatically give the option of on trigger enter. Just click on it and it will create the on trigger enter method. It has the option of other. So basically in the other, it is giving you the collider of the object that it gets hit with. So what we will be doing is, let's do something like let's write debug dot log bullet collided with enemy. And for now, for the sake of just testing the things, let's decrease the bullet speed to 20, and let's see if we get any debug. We usually see all the debugs here. Okay, so let's see if we are able to see any kind of trigger or not. Let's change the position towards some closer and shoot. You can see here bullet collided with enemy. Bullet collided with enemy for 2 times because we shoot for 2 times. Now you can see it is 6 times. Just remove the collapse and you can see different debugs. So now we are able to achieve that part, the collision. We are able to detect the collision. So now we need to add a condition here which is required, which is necessary. So I mean because what we need to do currently, bullet should get destroyed in 2 ways. If you have if you haven't aimed the target, the bullet will go in different direction. So in that case it will get destroyed in 3 seconds. But if the bullet get collided with the enemy, it should destroy it right away. So we will be doing that part. So what we need to do is, if we need to add a condition, if other dot tag is equals to enemy, like just before we have added the tag to the enemy and to the bullet as well. So currently we are on the bullet, so we are having the collider on bullet, and we will test with whom it is colliding. So we are getting the information of the collider. So currently we only want if the collision takes place with the enemy. So enemy has a tag named enemy. What we want to do is just call the destroy method directly, destroy bullet method directly, destroy bullet. Just write this and write the debug inside it. So this is the condition we need to add. Now we should check it whether the bullet is getting destroyed by having the collision. Play. Let's move the enemy somewhere here. Change the y-axis little down. Shoot. You can see the bullet is getting instantiated and getting destroyed. Shoot and destroyed. Shoot and destroyed. Now if I remove the boss, it will get destroyed in some time. So this change we have done. Now what we need to do is, the next part is let's add enemy health. But before that I need to have some water. Now we will be adding a UI element again to get some kind of health of the enemy. So let's add the health part as well. So under the canvas, this is the button. Again, a part we need is UI, and where the slider. Yeah, so slider, we will be adding the slider. So what you need to do, again I'm telling, just right click on the canvas, select UI, and select not the canvas, sorry, just right click on the canvas, go to the UI, select the slider. So here you can see the slider, but it is not of the proper, it is not visible currently. So let's increase it to 400 by 80, or let's say 500. So you can see there is a handle. just you can change the view to 2D as well. So now the look has become 3D, and you can scroll out and check the view of the 3D. Now currently the scroll bar is not working, so you can see there is a handle here. If I increase the size of the handle, you will be able to see like 5 5 5. So here is the handle. Currently we don't need this handle, so what we will be doing is delete. So just delete the handle and its parent. We just need the background and the fill area. Okay, just go to slider. It has a property that we will be using is the value. Okay, this is the value. So basically the value of the slider is between 0 to 1. We want the player health vary between 0 and 100. So here is a variable that is inside the slider named min value and max value. Let the min value be 0. Let's change max value to 100. Now the value will vary between 0 and 100. Okay, we are unable to see a huge change here. So what we will be doing is we will be adding color to fill. So let's have some kind of a red color and now try whether we are getting what we need. No, this is the color multiplier. Just go down. This is something we want. We want the initial to be 100, and then we will when we will be doing the attack, it will gradually decrease. Okay, so this is what we want. So we have the slider. Now we have increased the value. What you need to do is just go to the fill and change the color. So currently the enemy's health is total, like full, so you can give any color to it. Like green should be of the player, so red should be of the enemy. So go with the color you want. Now what we will be doing is we will be setting its rect to somewhere at the top. Okay, top left. Give some like offset. Let's say it's 100 and it's minus 100. So if it's looking good, you can change, you can increase the the dimension by using this. Or if you are okay with the resolution, like it is 500 by 80, and you want to increase it, just increase by this value 1.2 1.2. Now I think it is looking good. And when you are hitting the enemy, it should go like it should be decrement by the value of 5 5 5 5, something like that, right? 5 or 10 or something. Okay, so this is the case. Now we want enemy, we have to connect the slider with the enemy. So whenever bullet hit the enemy, when we hit the bullet with the enemy and we get the tag of enemy, what we will be doing is we will be decreasing the slider's value. So for that we will be creating another script for that. So let's create, right click on the project under the script folder, hit create C# script. Okay, so I was just checking the comment if anyone is having doubt or something like that, so I stopped. Okay, so now we will be creating another script, and the name is what okay, I haven't given the name, so let's delete it for now. Create another script. Another means we have created that. So right click, create C# script, and name it enemy health manager. Let's call it enemy health manager. So it should be the manager for the enemy's health. Go inside the enemy health manager and we will be doing the things. So again, remove these libraries as we don't need them. What we will be needing is the slider. So basically slider is a part of the UI element, right? So we just need to use the Unity engine .ui. It will allow us to use the UI things. So let's write it like slider health bar enemy. Okay, so we have created a private object like health bar enemy. Now it is important where we are placing this script. Okay, so we will be placing this script on the enemy itself, but enemy is not the part of the project, like not the part of the hierarchy. It get instantiated at runtime. So just add, first of all, add the script enemy health manager, and you can see if it is in the hierarchy, we can easily drag and drop something, okay, in the field. Like you can see in the previous part, in the previous section here, we have drag and drop something because it is in the project, but now the boss will get deleted. Boss has the script enemy health manager, just apply the changes so that it can reflect to the prefab. What we'll be doing is just deleting the boss. So currently we don't have boss in the hierarchy. When we get the boss, when we detect the plane, when the plane detection is done, when we click on the screen and when the object is instantiated, then only we get the boss in the hierarchy. So now we want to give the reference to the slider. So what the simple way what we will be doing is just add another tag, add tag. There are like a lot of ways possible, but the best way, not the best way, the basic way is to add the tag. Because whenever, if you say this particular the project, the hierarchy is less, but if you have a big project, then finding the object with tag name takes a lot of time, so it is not the efficient way to do, but it is a basic way you can do for the project, the basic project. So what we will be doing is health bar, we can add a tag health bar, and on the slider we will be adding the tag health bar. So now with the name of the tag, we can either search it by the name as well, but we won't be doing that because in that case it takes the kind of iterate towards all the objects. So we directly use the tag manager to do that. So we have the health bar, so we can directly go to the script. We have the health bar enemy. Now here what we can do is health bar enemy is equals to game of this is what we have done yesterday as well. Find game object with tag. What was the name? We should have the exact name, otherwise it will give you error. Health bar dot. Now what we want is, we got the health bar, okay. If you go to the project, we got the health bar, but we don't want to change anything in the health bar. We want the component which is basically slider. We want the slider component so that we can change the value, okay. We just want to play with the value. So what we want is the slider component of this game object. So inside the script, we got the game object which is slider. Now we will be doing the get component slider. Now this slider will be giving you error if you won't import the Unity engine.ui. So currently it knows the slider dot value, not the value, we just want the slider, okay. Yeah, so just we got the health bar enemy. So it is simply we got the health bar enemy. Now in the method, like the method that we have created already in the bullet, we will be creating same method for the enemy as well. On trigger enter, okay. So now here we will be checking whether the hit thing is bullet or not. So again we will be applying the condition if other dot tag is equals to bullet, then what we need to do is just do something like health bar enemy is equals to health bar enemy minus, let's take a float here, float decrementing health, okay. Let's make it serialized field so that we can change it from there. So we just took a float element and minus. So what we are doing here it is float, it is health bar enemy, okay. So what we'll be doing is checking the value dot value. So here what we are doing is when the bullet, when this is basically script added on the enemy. So on the enemy we are checking that if something is collided which is having the tag of bullet, what we'll be doing is we take the health bar value and we will be taking the current health bar value minus the decrementing health. The decrementing health can be anything, like let's say currently it is 5. So we are incrementing the enemy's health by 5. So we have wrote this notation, and the short form, we also have the short form for this. So we can write it as enemy health bar value minus equals to decrementing health. So it is exactly like that. Like you can write it, you can write two things. X is equals to, like x is something, x is equals to x plus 5, you can write it, or you can, what you can write is x plus equals to 5. So the both are same. It is like equivalent to x is equals to x plus 5. So this both are equivalent. So we wrote this. Okay, let me add it as comment. So this is something like that, both are equal. So we have done this, and now let's check whether it is working or not. So let's check it inside the project. Let's save the project and check whether we have implemented the script on, yeah, we have already implemented the script on the enemy, right? So now let's go to the enemy prefab, the boss. It has a decrementing health of 5. Okay, we have the slider, we took the reference using the tag. Now we need to check whether it's working or not. So what we will be doing is simply we will hit the play button. We will take boss inside the game, and we will go into this view. We will move the boss in the z-axis, a little bit in y-axis, and we will shoot. You can see in the health bar, the health bar is decreasing. Shoot. Okay, you can shoot the enemy now. This is what we have achieved. Now I think this is something, you know, it will be an easy task to do that, you know, like hitting the boss with the bullet. You can click n number of times, and you know, obviously boss will get defeated. This is the, you know, so much basic and easy for the user to defeat. So what we can do here is we can add some kind of we can add here some kind of reload time. Okay, so let's say you can shoot one bullet in a span of 2 seconds, let's say. So let's code something like that. And other than that, what we can do to make it a bit difficult, yeah, then let's add the reloading part. Okay, so what we need to do is, we have already created a lot of scripts, and let's not create any other, because we need the shoot script. We can go inside the shoot script. So where is the shoot script? Go to the shoot script. This is the shoot script. Let's say we want another variable, serialize field, float, and name it as gun reload timer. It should be equals to, let's say for now it's 2. Okay, and let's have a temporary variable, float counter. So first I will show you what the time dot delta time is, you know, do the work, because here we want to check the time. Like if you have shooted from the gun, you should wait for 2 seconds, right? So time dot delta time is something which is, you know, which give you time between the end of the first frame and the start of the last frame. So basically it gives time between the frame. It is not constant, but for a specific device, for specific devices, it gives you the constant value, time dot delta time. So basically we use it to, you know, take care of the time. So let me show you what time dot delta time is, basically how it take care of the time. So let's say, first of all, I will be demonstrating you that. Let's say counter is equals to 0. Now under update, what we'll be doing is we'll printing, let's say counter is equals to counter plus time dot delta time. Okay, now we will be debugging it, debug dot log time, and we do the debug like plus, because this is the string we want to show, and what value we want to show we will write here. So counter. So this is not the part of the project functionality, but I just want to demonstrate you how the time dot delta time we use to represent the time. So here we take the counter as 0 from the start, and now we have done something like this, and let's see what the counter is. So we will be adding time dot delta time in each frame to a variable which is initially 0. Okay, so let's see, let's play. You can see the debug here. Collapse. Yeah, you can see 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it is basically giving you the time. It is tracking the time, the seconds. So from the start of the game, it is giving you how much seconds currently the game is running. So it's like 22 seconds, 23, 24, 25. So we will be using this to get the reloading timer of 2. So we will be using this concept of time dot delta time. So what we need to do, we have a counter, we have gun reload timer. At the start, let's do counter is equals to gun reload timer. Okay, and in the update section, we will be testing. What we will be testing? If counter is greater than 0, if counter is greater than 0, which is currently the case, what we'll be doing is we will be doing counter is equals to counter minus time dot delta time. So we will be we will move it in the reverse way, like 3, 2, 1, something like that, according to the time. Okay, so we'll do it in a reverse way. And when in another case, when the timer from 2, 1 and 0, it will reach 0 when the condition get false. Else what we will be doing is like we will again setting counter is equals to gun reload. Okay, so this is basically we have two things, we have two condition. So for 2 seconds the initially counter is 2. Okay, so initially nothing will happen, but when you go into this place, the counter will start decrementing, and just after 2 seconds it will again go to the initial state. So let's take a boolean here. Boolean, it might get a bit complex or confusing, but just try to understand. I'll demonstrate it to you again. So we will be taking a boolean. Okay, shoot, currently it is false. At the start, let's say the shoot is false. Okay, we don't want to shoot, but here let's see, in this case we don't want the person to shoot, and in this case we want person to shoot. So what we can do now is, let me give you demonstration here. If shoot boolean is true, we will only be shooting if the shoot boolean is true. Okay, let's check here. Initially, let's say shoot is equals to true, because initially we don't press the button, so the shoot will be true at the initial time. At the update, when you shoot here, shoot will become false, and when you enter this area, shoot will become true. So currently I just wrote it. Let me test it whether it is working or not, then we will try to understand it. Let's see what's happening here. Let's play. Shoot, it is not at all working, because at the start the shoot was false. At the start the shoot is true, and here we tested. If shoot is true, we can shoot the game. Okay, and make it shoot is equals to false. Let's first comment and check whether we can shoot. At the first time we should shoot, and after that we should be unable to shoot. Okay, there might be some null references there. Shoot, only first bullet we can able to shoot. Let's go back, let's uncomment and check. So this is basically the shorthand. Just select it, control KC will comment the line, comment the section, control KU will uncomment the section. Okay, so now let's try to understand what we are doing. At the start the shoot is true, so basically at the start you are able to shoot, but here when you shoot for the first time, the shoot boolean will get false. Now we will check when it again becomes true. So if here if counter becomes is greater than 0, then it will move like this. Okay, this thing will run always, right? What we want to do is, like, initially you shoot the gun, right, and shoot become false. Okay, we only want to run this part of code when shoot is false. We don't want it to run always, because currently in the current scenario it is always running. So let's add another condition. If this basically means if shoot is false, it is also written as shoot like equal to false, or shoot not equals to true, or if not shoot. So these all are same. Okay, so now at the initial the shoot is true and you can shoot, and now whenever you shoot the first bullet, the shoot become false. Now you are unable to shoot because it becomes false. So when shoot become false, this thing enters and the counter will be checked, like whether it is more than 2. So currently at the start it is more than 2. So what happened here is it will start decrementing by time. So at that time the shoot will be false. Okay, so when it reaches 0, like when the 2 seconds get completed, it won't give again this condition, but it will go to the else condition, and now the shoot will become true, and counter, which is 0, will again become 2, which is, the gun reload time is 2. Let's see now if we are able to do that. Okay, shoot, so if you press it again, nothing will happen. It will only shoot when the gun will reload, I mean in 2 seconds, something like this. I'm tapping it again and again, but the function will only be working in 2 seconds. Okay, so for letting the user know that the gun is reloading, let's change the text as well. So for changing the text, what we will be doing is at this part, so we first of all we need the reference of the text. So let's have the reference serializable field text, button text. Now you can see here it is giving us error because we don't implemented the UI. So using unity engine.ui, now we have the UI and the error vanished. So what we can do here is, this is the place whether we are unable to shoot. So this is the place where the gun starts reloading. So what we will be doing here is we'll take the text element. So button text dot text is equals to reload, reload. So now the gun's state is reload, and when the reload finished, it will be again become shoot. Okay, so this is the place basically where the gun will be reloading, and this is the place where gun will again start for the performance. So here the text will be reload, here the text will be shoot. Now let's test. Okay, so we are having a null reference, because why the null reference is there, because we haven't assigned, we shoot manager don't know the button text, that's why it is giving us the null reference. So let's drag and drop the buttons text. Okay, so this button, let's name it as shoot button, and we have dragged and dropped the text part. So now let's again play the game and see whether reload, shoot, reload, you cannot shoot, reload, shoot. So this is something, you know, user will got to know that okay, now it is reloading and it's taking some time. When I played this game, we should like reloading of 2 is, you know, bit much, so let's have it at 1 and shoot. Now within 1 second we will get the reload time. So this is what we have done now. Any question, everyone following me able? Yeah, I can understand that shooting part is a bit trickier, because you know the time dot delta time, and you know, using the counter, you can do it in your own way as well, you know, using the counter. Just get the concept of time dot delta time, like how it is helping you to get the time constraints, then you can, you know, implement it in your way. It might be big, you might get something, you know, like less, in some less lines. I have used some more lines, so it's up to you. You can do anything. Now what is one thing is left, not the one thing left there, we can do a lot of stuff, but one thing we should add is we should let the user know how much distance far the enemy is. So let's add another component, like another text component, UI and text. Okay, go to the text, make the color as white so that in the black screen we can see it. I'm unable to see again, but let's make it into the center, do the overflow and just increase the text value. Okay, so it will be something like, do it 100, it will be something like it will provide us the information about, you know, how much far the enemy is from us. So it is basically it will be calculating the distance of the camera and the enemy, so that, you know, when the enemy gets instantiated, you can know that okay, the distance of the enemy is like 2 meter. So you can, you know, move slightly in the backward direction, so that you can kill the enemy. So let's have it at the top right part. Just set the offset minus 200. Oh, sorry, minus 200 and minus 100 is the offset, I think, which is good. Let's have it at minus 150. Okay, you can set it your way, have it here, and just remove it, and we need the distance of the enemy. So what we can do, where we can do it is, I think we can do it in the enemy movement that we have created yesterday. So just go to enemy movement. Here in the update, what we are doing is we have the camera, we have the transform of the camera, and we have the transform of the enemy with us as well. So let's take the serializable field, distance text. We don't have the distance text right now here, because this is the enemy movement script and it is placed at enemy. So what we will be doing is we will be creating another, give me a moment, creating another script. This is a distance text, right? Yeah, we need to access it. So what we will be doing is we will be applying a script to the distance, to get the distance basically. Currently we don't have the reference, because, you know, in the some script we want the enemy script, when we want this text. So let's say we have shoot button, we have shoot manager, and we can take the reference here as well, but yeah, just let's take the reference here. So what we will be doing is we will be adding public text object, and it should be like a distance text. Okay, so let's drag and drop the distance text here. Distance text, I should name it as distance text. Drag and drop to the place and go to the screen, go to the script where we have left. It is the enemy movement script. What we'll be doing here is we will be finding now let's see whether we can find that as well. So let's write shoot dot. Okay, so we want to get that. So what we can do is we can make the object text as static. So we need something like go to the shoot script, and we want to fetch this thing. Okay, we cannot directly do that. So what we should do is, let's make a public, let's have it private, public, add the serialized field, and we are creating another string option, public static string distance. Okay, and by using the keyword static, we can directly use distance in our another script. And then what we can do is, in the update we just put the value of distance inside this. So distance text dot text is equals to the string distance. Okay, so this is what we will be doing. We can take the initial value of distance as distance is equals to, like, distance should be like -1 at the initial, so that when the object placement is not there, so the distance should be -1, and after that the distance will show the exact thing. So here we done this. Now here we will be taking the reference of shoot dot distance is equals to, we have a method inside vector3 which basically calculate the distance between two vectors. So vector3 dot distance, now between which objects we want to find the distance. One is the camera and one is the enemy. So let's write both, because we have both in this script. So what we will be writing is transform dot position, which is giving us the position of the object on which this script is placed. So basically this script is placed on enemy, so it is giving us the position of the enemy. And the another thing, camera dot position. Okay, now we are storing it returns float. Basically it is returning float. We want to convert it to string, so let's write the conventional method of converting something to string. We wrote this, and we just want the value of the float is like, we just want to control it, like after decimal we only want to see up to 1 digit. So let's do something like this, and let's test whether it will work or not. So what we have done is, we reference to the shoot script having a static variable called distance. So we go to that variable and we place that variable under this particular text, which is the text section which we have, which we will be dragging drop now. When the script get compiled, we have the distance text which is here somewhere. It has no text, so let's write -1 for now. Let's increase the font a bit so that we can see it and play. Okay, so currently it's like that. Now let's go to the prefab, place the enemy and check the game. So it is 0, like it is at the same position of the camera. Let's move the enemy this. So now it is directly gets changed, and you can check that the enemy is moving towards us with some value, some speed. It might be 0.1 meter per second, something like that, as he is zombie, so he'll be moving at a slower rate. So this is something, you know, which is beneficial to the user when they play. So now what we can do, we can compile and we can check whether the things are working fine. We can compile the app, build the app, and test. So if you are following me like till now, then you should go up and you should build the app. So what you need to do is just go to the file, build setting. You should check if the scene is there inside the scene build. So if your scene is there, so if your scene is not there, just drag and drop your scene inside it. So how you can do that is, if let's say your scene is not here, you can just drag and drop your scene and you can directly build the project. So you can test everything that is done now. So you guys can build it and check. And if something is not working, we can work with the solution. Basically everything should be working, because we have tested in the scene as well. Because to do the AR thing, it is not always the right way to build the app and see in the real world. Yeah, it might give some kind of issues, but that are resolvable. So you can compile the app and you can test. So if I compile the app, it'll take some kind of like 2-3 minutes. So if you guys are following me, just compile the app and check whether it's working. Let me know.
Sorry, I'm muted. We have a question from Dave. He asks,
Okay.
can you show me the transform value for distance text?
Okay, transform value for distance text. Okay, so you don't need to exactly see the transform value, you just set it according to you. What we need to do is just set the red transform, go to the rect transform, press shift and alt, and select the top right one, click on it. It will set somewhere here, and just skew it the offset, move it in the x axis towards a little bit left. Let's say it's minus 150, and move it in the y axis a little bit down. So let's say it's minus 100. So this is the exact value, minus 150 and minus 100 after setting the rect transform. And if you guys have done this, we need to add a little stuffs as well, the wing screen and the game over screen. So let's add them. Right click on the canvas, go to the UI, go to the panel option. So some kind of panel will be you can see the panel, it has some transparency value and something. Just go to the image option, go to this, make it for the game over screen. What we'll be doing is make it whole red, increase the transparency value. Let's not make it this, make it something like this. Yeah, so make it something like this color. Let's call it game over screen, and add a text and name it as game over. So if you see the text here, we can change the value as, let's say, 500 by 100, so that the text will get appear inside it. Let's have it as 100, center. Let the color of the text be white, and yeah, let's let it be as overflow. So we are unable to see the text. Let me see what's the issue. Yeah, so when you do the overflow, it basically exceeds, it came out from the boundations that you have applied. So either increase this, either increase this and the value, or just do the overflow. So when you do the overflow, it just don't care what, what the width and height is. It just exceed it and came over. Currently we don't worry about this part. Just make it overflow and increase the size. Otherwise what we can do, just make it wrap and increase the width of the text component. Yeah, so if you increase the width, you will be able to see the whole text. So it will be something like 1600. Okay, so this is the game over screen that we have. Disable it. Okay, like copy it. For copying this game object, you just need to uh, go to this particular game object and press Ctrl D. It will get duplicate. Now enable it, change the name as winning screen, change the color to slightly green, and just change the text of this as you want. Okay, so we have both the screens with us, both the screens available. So what we'll be doing is, it's basically a winning screen. um Depends on the health bar. When the health bar became uh, totally zero, then you can see the winning screen. And when the you can see when the collider of the enemy came towards you and collided with you, then it is something like game over. So what you need to do is, it is all related to the collider thing. The on trigger method will work here. So what you need to do, it's kind of task for you guys, that you just need to make these screens visible according to the trigger of the you know when the enemy and the camera colliders get triggered, we will be watching the game over screen. And when the health bar will reach the value of 0, we will be watching the winning screen. So let's do something for winning screen first. I'll be showing you how the winning screen will work like. Till then, just create this. So winning screen, where you can code for the winning screen, you can code it for inside the enemy, or you can code it somewhere else. So there are n number of options where we can code for this. It is normally, the first screen is dependent on the health bar, and the second screen is dependent on the collision between the enemy and the camera. So what you need to do is, just set the collider for the camera, just like we have set the collider for, let's set the collider for the camera just like a person. So let's go to the AR origin, let's make it 3D. Let's go to the AR origin and apply some kind of collider to it, like capsule collider. So just click this button. You're able to see the collider. Just what you need to do is, just increase the height to 2 and decrease the radius to 0.1. So it is kind of a person standing, and when the player hits this collider, again the collision enter trigger will work. The same thing again, you need to, you will be having a player with capsule collider having no trigger on, and you are having AR session origin with the capsule collider, again the trigger off. And what I have told you, that either one of the objects should be having the rigid body and the collision trigger on. So what we'll be doing is enabling the is trigger of the player and adding the rigid body. Just add the rigid body, remove the use gravity, and just same method you need to apply, to get the game over screen enable. So this is the simple task for you guys that you need to do. And for the winning screen, I'll be making it for you. Okay, just go to the shoot manager that we have created. Yeah, inside the shoot manager, what we'll be doing is, just take the reference of the health bar. Serialize field, slider, health bar, and what we will be doing is we will be checking the health bar's value. So here we will be checking inside it if, let me check what name I've provided. Okay, I forgot to add the health L. So let's have it here. If HEAL health bar dot value is less than 5, we will be enabling the winning panel dot set active true. So set active is something, what we use to enabling the game object and disabling the game object. Currently it is showing us that this does not exist. So just go to the top, again create a CLS field, and add a game object winning screen. Okay, winning screen. Just copy the game object name and paste. So what we have done is we took the reference of the health bar and the winning screen, and inside the method where we are shooting, what we are checking is with each shoot we are checking the health bar's value. If the health bar value is going down, going below 5, we will be enabling the winning screen. So let's provide the reference and do the testing. Shoot manager, it wants the winning screen, just provide the winning screen, and it also wants the health bar. Let's provide the slider. So it has everything. Let's play the game. Let's play the game. Let's have the enemy in the game, and let's move it. Let's move it down so that we can shoot him. And for now, for the sake of testing, let's have the gun reload timer as 0. Shooting. We are shooting him, and you won. So basically it is doing the same stuff. We are shooting, and currently we are checking the health bar with each, with each shoot we are doing. So at each shoot we are checking whether the health bar is, having the value less than 5. So if we got the value less than 5, then the enemy, you won. So this is a task for you guys. This is a task for you guys to create something like the how the losing panel will work. You just need to take care of the trigger when the enemy and the player got collided. Then in that case the game over screen will takes place, will be get enabled. How it will get enabled? uh, at the collision, and you just need to use the method name as set active true. So two methods here are special. One is the on trigger enter that we have already demonstrated, and another one is the set active true. So these are the two things that you will be using. You just need to find the appropriate place where you are, using the code. Other than that, you can do another task. Like currently the enemy is getting, hit, of constant value, it's 5. You hit anywhere, it is getting the value of 5, decrementing the value 5 from the health bar. So what you need to do is, it is again a task that it can be a task or a challenge for you guys, that if the bullet hit the head part, the health should be reduced to 50. Like it will be reduced by 50. If it hits the body portion, not the legs but the chest portion, it should get reduced to like 30. 30 will get decremented, and if it's hit the lower body, the decrement should be of like 5. So something like that you need to design, for the head, different hit for the head, different hit for the middle body, and different hit for the lower body. So these are the two tasks that I'll be, giving you for that. Other than that, all the scripts that we have created today, I will be uploading all the scripts to the drive that we have created. So I'll be uploading all the scripts there for you guys, so you can take the reference from there. So today, which scripts we have created? We created Bullet, we created Enemy Health Manager, we created Shoot. So these are the three scripts that we have created today. Other than that, enemy movement, look at an object. These are the scripts we have created yesterday. So these three scripts I have added to the drive folder, so you can get access to it whenever you want.
Thank you so much, Karan. That was, I'm sure whoever will watch this later on will also probably, complete the challenges and things like that. But yeah, thank you so much. I really enjoyed. I was following the tutorial as well. So
Great.
yeah, I had a nice time, and I hope everyone watching also did. If you have any questions, now's your time to ask Karan. If not, I will now ask Tiziano to join us, who is the CEO of Project AR, and he will be talking about where they see the metaverse is going to go and about their long-term strategy. So, welcome, Tiziano.
Hey, Vidi, here we go. Thank you very much, and thank you, Karen, as well. Just this whole presentation just remind me how valuable it is to have him on board if needed. So yeah, thank you for that. And I think for those who have joined us yesterday, we had a little introduction to this concept already, but I will be sharing actually. I've prepared a little presentation, so I will share my screen and yes. So you should now see my screen from the beginning. So yeah, as Vidi said, I'm the CEO of Project AI, and I'm working with Karen and also with Priyanka and Louis to the development of an augmented reality and location-based game called the Jack. Basically what we're trying to do is covering our cities with a layer of immersive experiences. And basically just speaking about immersive experiences and technology, I think the best thing to do for us is to start from defining what is an immersive technology, because this is really the foundations of the metaverse somehow. So how is immersive technology defined? Immersive technology is basically a technology which enables the users to replace or enhance the physical, the real world with digital content. So basically, the user is immersed in a different dimension, or an augmented dimension, which still relates to the real world. But the most important thing, the most important difference in terms of the interaction is how the senses, how in particular the sight, but also the hearing and lately the touch as well, have changed. The way how users approach with this enhanced environment. And I just would like to clarify a little bit the terminology, because with recently there's been obviously a spike in interest toward these technologies, but there are several definitions, and I think we're getting to a point where we can safely say that we can kind of collect all the immersive technologies under the name of extended reality, the XR, which includes virtual reality, augmented reality, merged or mixed reality. So obviously the virtual reality completely surrounds the user with a digitally created environment and content. So there is somehow a good level of detachment from the real world. There's no sense of the real world, and this usually happens with a headset. Augmented reality instead, which is what our company focuses on, is consists of a layer of added content, added information, an overlay of digital content, which somehow just applies on top of our own reality. So it's exactly an augmentation, and the real world, the real dimension remains central to the user, because that's obviously what the overlay is going to apply to. While the mixed reality is obviously mixed between the previous two, and the user is still able to interact with with both the physical and the virtual environment at the same time. So, for example, having what Microsoft is also working on, like having this several screens in front of yourself, and you're able to touch them, and work directly on like on the screen, which is projected in front of you. Just to give a little background, obviously this spike, this big hype around XR and the metaverse is obviously due to a certain level of development which we have reached, obviously a good level of dissemination as well, and hopefully some mass adoption that we're going to experience soon. But obviously that is the end of the end. I mean, this is part of the journey, but in the previous stages we had a lot of also failures and progresses as well. I thought where we are nowadays. So what we can identify as the oldest in the family of the immersive technologies and the extended reality is probably the stereoscope, which back in 1838 made possible to change to convert 2D images into 3D. And then basically over the last century there's been a lot of improvement, with the first headsets being created in the second half of last century. But I think the real push has been made in the 90s, where gaming played an important role in pushing forward this technology, and in particular like virtual reality started to not only being converted into technology, but also being popular and entering the room of discussion in the scientific environment. So what is actually interesting is that about augmented reality, we have in 2007 the first massive implementation, which we probably didn't even realize back then. I didn't realize back then that the street view of Google is actually a massive implementation of augmented reality, and that the following years just led to a massive development as well, and like trying to win the race to the perfect headset and virtual and augmented reality. There were several companies. Facebook was one of them. In 2014, they acquired Oculus, which is obviously one of the main technologies in terms of the headset. And 2016 was in particular a very active year for VR and AR as well, together with the release of the Oculus Rift and Microsoft HoloLens, the PlayStation also adoption of VR. There was obviously the release of the most popular and also the biggest revenue maker in terms of augmented reality games, which is Pokemon Go. And in the latest years, we are seeing continuous improvement to these technologies, and Apple is also expected to release their own AR VR headset in the next few years. So, talking about the what was in the past or in the present in this case, and what is going to be in the future. How is the XR adoption distributed over different industries? So, as we can see, video games and gaming has been so far the main area of implementation, and it will be even more so in the next few years. And this is also because I believe gaming is most often at the forefront of technological development and often anticipates somehow what is lately adopted in other industries as well. In particular, we see healthcare and engineering, live events as well, in the industries which are adopting more and more XR technologies. What is particularly interesting is the compound annual growth rate of the XR market, and this is extremely high, to be honest. This value, which is basically how much the market grows year on year. And just to give you a benchmark, just think that the mobile games in the same period, same time frame, will grow by 14% year on year. So this means that the XR market is extremely vivid, and there's an expansion, which obviously is also due to the recent development in the technology level. And I also thought that obviously, since you are university students and this is a growing market, I thought it was interesting to take a look at the UK market job market for the extended reality and related roles. So in particular, in the last few years, like here, the data shows that from 2016 to 2019 in the UK, the AR and VR job roughly increased by 200%. So it's massive. It's really a massive amount. And here's a list of a few roles which are gaining importance within the industry. And what is particularly interesting, I think, is that due to the nature of this technology, to the immersive and thorough interaction which is made available by this technology, several different roles and skill sets are required to implement them. So we have obviously the more technical ones like software developers and engineers, but also creative roles like 3D artists, UI, UX designers, and obviously business people, but also psychology skills profiles, because there is a level of discussion around what is the ethical implementation, what is the ethical use of extended reality, and what should be in the future. And obviously, this is a growing market, and there is at the moment a relative scarcity of skills. So the salaries are particularly attractive, which is something that is probably of interest for next enters into the job market. But let's come to the main topic, which is obviously the metaverse. So what is exactly the metaverse? I guess this is the $1 million question. And the answer is there's no answer just yet. This is the interesting thing, because essentially the metaverse is a fluid concept at the moment. It's taking shape right now. Some projects are have anticipated really what is happening at the moment, that they have been working on metaverse projects for years by now. But the reality is that it is up for shaping, really. It is not fixed. There's not a fixed framework to describe the metaverse at the moment. If we want to look at the etymology of the word, it comes from like meta, from meta from Greek, which means beyond, and verse, which is short for universe. So it's like beyond our universe. So it's a level of enhanced, as we said, for the immersive technologies, enhanced interaction. So I try to find a a definition on which we can safely agree. It wasn't easy, but I think a computer-generated space where users interact with persistent digital environments and with each other might be a good definition of what we can expect in terms of the metaverse. Now, what is particularly relevant here, I think, is the word persistent, because that means that even when you switch off your device, the whole world, the whole device, the whole reality stays there, and other people keep interacting into it, which is something different than what happens in several online games. It's like it's just you play, but then when you close your session, essentially the world is coming to an end. But with this online constant, persistent presence, other people keep interacting, and also potentially your avatar keep interacting with others as well. And just a curiosity, the term metaverse was first coined by Stephenson, which is an American writer, in a dystopian novel called Snow Crash, where basically people just immerse themselves in this parallel world, and there are some of the factors which we are going to look at, which we see also nowadays in the current developments of the metaverse. Hopefully, it won't end up like that. That's my main wish. But let's take a look at the metaverse ecosystem as well, because obviously this is an extremely articulated structure. There are different different types of market players which operate in from different angles and different sectors. So here, this is really a lot of information, but one of the main groups is the content creation, and we're going to look into some of them in a moment. But also the infrastructure, particularly important, obviously, because of the development which makes this whole interaction possible, and the monetization as well, together with the connectivity. These are some main group of how we can group together really all the players which we see within this space, and which will make this whole reality possible. So looking at some key elements, obviously each platform, each metaverse has their own rules really and elements, but I try to group together some recurrent ones, some common ones, and in particular we see that blockchain is definitely the key technology probably here. So a way to safely store information, to collect chronological transaction which happens, refer to a particular item or a particular currency. It's extremely important because it's like introducing some sort of like private property on digital assets, and the ability to claim that that ownership. So avatars as well, obviously, because we are seeing more and more duplication somehow of ourselves into this space, or in some cases just avatars which completely differ from how we look like in the real world. So here we see some of the avatars which Roblox made available, or made user able to create. Another aspect is obviously NFTs, which is particularly important nowadays. So it can be the ownership of a piece of clothing, an item, estate, and land, as we will see as well. It's something which is growing a lot, and also the play to earn feature. So basically, many platforms now, they have their own currency, so that can be a way for players to be rewarded, or also obviously in-game rewards, which players can really win by mastering the game. And I would just want to share with you some of the projects under the spotlight, really, those projects which are attracting a lot of interest from both users but also investors recently. And here is a list of them. I think we can somehow group together the first three, because they're all massive multiplayer games, which we see happening online. And in particular with Roblox, what we see is like an online game platform and game creation system where others can play, where players can play games made by other users. And what is central here is the user-generated content, and I think this is a super important aspect, because the metaverse will be shaped, I believe, this is my personal opinion, but it's widely shared. The metaverse will be populated by user-generated content. It's going to be extremely important to get users, to get players involved in the creation, rather than just get them to accept really anything that the developer company is placing in this world. So this is particularly important. Users, I think, love to shape, to craft the reality around them. And this is something that happens also in Fortnite at some level, and in Minecraft particularly. Now in Fortnite, I think they push this a level of immersive interaction also toward a different direction, because for example, they're hosting virtual concerts, like Ariana Grande's one, for example, and there are basically people there joining with their own avatar, interacting like in a real concert. So it's like it's a really interesting, I think, way to provide immersive experiences. And also Minecraft here, it's again a platform where you can a persistent gaming platform where you can play, socialize, and also spend money and monetize. But Minecraft Earth was discontinued, so we will see how they're going to keep it up in the metaverse race. But so far it has been discontinued, making many users disappointed. But that's what happened. I think two other extremely interesting projects are Sandbox and Decentraland, which I personally see as a little bit as similar projects, which are offering interesting features and interaction types. So Sandbox and Decentraland, they are both platform where you can obviously play, socialize, and also monetize players' virtual experiences. They both have their own cryptos. They both have their own crypto currencies at the moment, and they all make available land ownership. So basically, you can purchase and virtually use this piece of virtual land. And they also have a marketplace where you can exchange, obviously, in-game items like NFTs and land and so on and so forth. Now, I think you should really watch out Sandbox, because tomorrow they're launching their alpha, as I put here. And just so that you know, that their cryptocurrency just boomed in the last 1 month due to this launch tomorrow. So that might be an indicator of something big going on there. So I think it's really interesting to watch them out. And the same thing is going on with Decentraland. Just think that last week a plot of land has been purchased for $2.43 million. So now we can argue on whether it makes any sense or not to buy virtual land for $2 million, but I believe they will find a way to monetize that for that 2.4 million. And I think purchasing virtual land is something that is definitely going to grow and create this sort of environment even more immersive and up for creating more and more experiences. And this is basically what is going on in several projects. A trend that is going on in several projects. so far we've been describing obviously projects which have been focusing on gaming and socialization. We have Meta, which obviously from Facebook, which is a bit more of, or at least is trying to be a more thorough platform, trying to focus more on, like sort of Second Life type of experience, at least so far. And they are acting like with this sort of monopolist approach, obviously, which is quite they're quite used with, to be like the only one platform which you can use for the metaverse. And finally, we have Mesh, which is a feature it will be a feature for Microsoft Team, and it's what we mentioned earlier on about the mixed reality, a way to cooperate in a working environment with colleagues and having holographic and avatar presence. So all these projects are obviously really interesting. There are others as well which are actually up and running at the moment. Others will grow, and we hope that one of the future big project which will represent one of the planets of the metaverse will be our own game, the Jack, which we are trying to shape as a planet of this metaverse, because we really believe that this metaverse will be decentralized. There will be several platforms potentially cooperating with each other, and we would like to be one of these realities. Essentially, what we are particularly focusing on is enhancing and augmented local site and community. So we want to retain that connection with the real world, providing this augmentation, this enhancement of entertainment experience, but not only, to be honest. We would like to provide a layer of gaming experiences and immersive experiences attached to everyday's locations of users. So people will be able to place their characters in specific areas, and potentially hold a piece of this land, and then try to take over someone else by defeating them, and also interact with businesses. Provide these businesses with an online presence, with an AR presence, and interact with them, winning discounts at these places, so gamifying the whole presence online. And we want to do this through augmented reality. So this parallel world, basically this parallel layer of experiences, will be accessible through smartphone, and potentially in the future through AR glasses, and provide, as I said, a layer of of experiences which overlaps with our own reality. So we don't want just to really get the users like isolated from the surrounding environment, but we rather want to enhance this environment with augmented reality. And at this point, I think, as I said at the beginning, this is really still under development. The whole concept is under development, and I think it's particularly interesting because we can all take part into this development and into shaping these worlds, these virtual worlds. So it's really interesting to foster the discussion and grow the interest and actively taking part into this development, because we can be the ones, everyone can be the one who contribute to grow this world and to increase this space. So these are some of the questions which, to be honest, I'm personally wondering about, and we don't know the answer yet. To be honest, I have my own opinion, but I would also be happy to hear yours about these matters. So one of the main question will be: will there be one only a single metaverse, or will there be multiple metaverses, like multiple planets, which is how I, to be honest, envision it in the future, where you can potentially cross over. You can with your avatar cross from a platform to another. Probably some platform will be integrated, some platform will not be integrated. I imagine this like, traveling between countries. That you can travel from a country to another. Each country has their own rules, but there are still some common rules which are accepted and allows you to jump from potentially a planet, a country of this metaverse to another one. And how we will access these worlds, really? Is it going to be necessarily through headset? Will it be as it is today for some already existing projects that we can access them through our PCs, for example, or through our smartphones, which is obviously the most ubiquitous technology at the moment. So this is also interesting, as well as the way we are going to interact with each other. How we'll interact? Will we see like greediness, taking over the world soon, or will we see like some level of enhanced cooperation? Will we see the best of ourselves, or will we see the worst? I don't know. This is really it's more of a an anthropological question. And another question which is particularly important and interesting to me is, what sort of governance system will we have? Because what is going to happen is that obviously there must be rules, and there must be someone who enforces these rules. So who is going to govern these spaces? Will there be like a one person, one vote? Will it be democracy, or actually one person, one avatar vote? Or will there be like some sort of plutocracy system where those who invest the most, those who own more virtual lands potentially, will make the decision? Or will there be like a monocratic system? Will there be like only the developer, the developer company which created the platform, making the whole decisions, and users just accepting them or leaving? I don't know. This is really something that it's hard to tell now, because as I said, everything is under development, and everything is, to be honest, up to us to shape. So I think these are really interesting topics to discuss, and to be honest, this is all up to us to shape. So let's work on it, and let's create a nice space. Obviously, let's try to avoid the dystopic, the dystopic evolvements which we have read in Stephenson novel. And this is my last slide. So thank you very much for listening, and I can now stop sharing my screen.
Awesome. That was really interesting. It does make you question so many other aspects of just the metaverse. It's so much beyond just the technology itself. So yeah, it's going to be super interesting to see how this plays out. But as someone who comes from a political science business sort of background, what are your views on sort of the government, like different governments across the world sort of meddling with this kind of thing? And we've seen like China, for example, putting a ban on cryptocurrencies. On another side, we are seeing Brazil just opening up a new crypto city and things like that. What's your take on these things?
Yeah, well, as I mentioned, I think the level of decentralization is really interesting, because it could lead to a really democratized environment, which is somehow what I hope, what I wish, and what I would like to work for. On the other hand, I think it will somehow reflect what has been in human history so far. just in another dimension, but I don't think like human beings will be too different from that. So I'm afraid like the level of investment, the level of wealth you have, a stake you have in each platform will definitely matter in terms of decision making. So I think I don't think we will have like the developer companies shaping the whole decision making and um, the whole system. But I think we will be somehow dancing between the democracy and plutocracy systems. To be honest with you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was a really interesting talk, and thank you so much to you and the entire team at Project AR for spending the last 2 days with us. I'm sure people will look back and also enjoy the talk and the workshops. So yes, thank you so very much, and I wish the whole team absolute best for the game with the Jack, and you can find everyone will be sent out an email to join the Discord server for the Jack, so you can
That's great.
also help the team at Project AR sort of shape their character and shape their metaverse, their planet of the metaverse. So yeah, exciting stuff. Thank you so much, Tiziano.
Thank you, and thanks everyone. Bye.
So that was the end of our third day, and I hope you all have had a good time listening to different speakers and attending the workshops. We were supposed to have another speaker come in. However, I just been told that he's not going to be able to make it today. So unfortunately, we won't be able to hear what he had to share with us, but hopefully in the future. So yeah, thank you so much for joining and have a good Sunday, everyone. Bye bye.